So the big thing for business owners to do, which they generally have a hard time doing, is being like crystal clear. What results do you want produced versus how do you want them produced? There's the old analogy. You tell 10 people to go build a fence, you'll probably get 10 different looking fences because everybody has their own idea what a fence is, right? So rather than saying, I want it done like this, and it's basically that this is the way we do things around here, say these are the results I want produced. And then let the person who has the expertise to do those things come up with the way it gets done. Rather than the owner continue to insist that it be done my way. That's really hard for them to do because they know that their way works to an extent, right? So they have a hard time trusting if I let them do it their way, we're going to still get results. Or can we get better results? They don't think about that.
So how do you balance that? Like, as a business owner, it's your baby. There's a certain, end product you want. You want to empower people to do it their way. But I guess, how do you make sure that the result that's getting created is still what you want and what you want the business to do, but at the same time, you're empowering those people to do it your way? Okay.
And one, being crystal clear about the results you want in detail, not the way they're done, but what results you want. So let's say accounting. You want a dashboard every week showing your receivables, your payables, your inventory, your cash projection for the next 6 to 10 weeks, your sales month to date, week to date, year to date, quarter to date, all that compared to budget. In other words, you're going to be real specific, and then they're going to produce the results or not, right? You just have exactly what you want, and are they producing it consistently? And when they're not, you need to find out what's going on that you didn't. I was real clear about this, not why didn't you do it my way, but what's going on that this result is not being produced. And generally, there's a learning opportunity for both the owner and the person doing the work. And sometimes they're just not that clear because the owner wasn't that clear. I was in this strategy meeting last week with clients in South Florida, 2 days, and the owner kept saying, or one of the owners kept saying, "Yeah, but they don't know." I forget what function it was about. They don't know what they're doing. I said, do you know what you want, results you want? He goes, yeah. I said, have you put it down in detail in writing to show them exactly what? Well, no. I said, could you do it now? Could you do it tonight as an exercise? Well, I don't know, because it's all in his head, and it's all in his head doing it my way. He was still collapsing domains between what I want done versus the way I would do it. You have to give up the way I want it done. You would just need to focus on the results.
So I guess from that perspective, something that would concern me as a business owner is I can see that it's good to empower people. It's good to let them do it their way. But what if that person, they have a life change, they move, they don't work for me anymore? I guess how important is putting together a process off of, what that person's doing?
Processes are crucial, in my opinion, to having a business that will run itself. And I don't mean by run itself but you have a leadership team that can manage the business where you're freed from the business. Think of it this way. Mm-hmm. Any fast food restaurant, you can get 5 to 7 teenagers and they'll run it like clockwork. Why? Because they have processes. Everybody knows how to make the fries. Everybody knows how to make the Royale with cheese. A better example that I really like is the deck of an aircraft carrier. You have decks that are elevating along, taking warplanes up and down, launching them with superheated steam. And you have these flight deck crew that it's hyper coordinated. Everybody knows exactly what to do. Everybody knows exactly what everybody else is supposed to do. How's that? And again, think of it this way. And it's generally run by 18 to 20-year-olds. Think of most 18 to 20-year-olds today who live in their parents' basement playing video games, eating cheese puffs all day. You wouldn't trust them near the deck of an aircraft carrier. But these soldiers, these Navy crewmen, have been drilled to where they know exactly what they're supposed to do. It's very clear what the process is. That makes sense? So in a business, I'm not saying you have to drill like a deck of an aircraft carrier, but to have real clear processes like a fast food restaurant of this is the way we do, billing. This is the way we do collections. This is the way we review things. This is the way we do the financial statements. This is the way we do inventory. This is the way we do purchasing. This is how we determine what needs to be purchased and when and how we get purchase orders out, et cetera. When you have all that like a recipe, not like some long narrative that nobody's going to read, but like a recipe, do this, do that, do this, do that. When that's real clear and you can get somebody who's not that familiar with it, come in and read the process and actually be able to do it, you've got a good process.
What's really
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I was going to say what happens a lot of times, people who've been doing it a while, we all have what's called a background of obviousness, right? There's certain things you've just been doing so long, it's just, you don't even think about all the little intermediate steps. So when they write.
That's an excellent point, by the way, because
Right.
we just don't think of what other people wouldn't notice.
Right. So in writing the process, you'll, out of your assumptions of, well, everybody knows. What was I told the other day? I made some comment about, I forget what now. It's a thing about some guy getting stung by bees. And I said, are those bees a wasp? And he said, what does it matter? I said, well, if a bee stings you, generally they die because your skin is too tough for them to pull the barb and the end of their stinger out. Wasps can sting you over and over again, and they're much more painful. And he said, well, you're just stating the obvious. I said, most 20-year-olds, they don't know how to read a clock face. They don't know who the vice president is. They don't know what the 4th of July is about. No, it's not obvious. It's not known. So, in a process, if you go to say, well, you go to the accounts payable thing and you open up like, okay, how do you do that? What's the software we've been talking about? And how do you see, screenshots of what the screen will look like? And this is where you go to, this is the button you hit. These are the fields you enter, that down to that kind of detail, to where you don't have to have the same background of obviousness to be able to do the process. That makes sense?
No, it totally does. And actually, this is something